What's up, YouTube family? We are back with another crazy one today, and so far it's been a long time. I did upload on my YouTube channel, right? Because we've been busy trying to get started for the year. Today I'm really going to bring to you all a very simple day trading strategy that I've used to smash my prop accounts over and over again, right? So as usual, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and also hit on the notification button, right, to always get my trade breakdowns, and also click on the link in this particular video description to be part of our free Telegram community, right? So over the past few weeks, we have been able to smash a lot of prop firm accounts, and right here, every single trade level are being called, and we have been able to carry out a lot of crazy flip, including 800 all the way to 2000 USD, and this is literally the entry with literally zero drawdown, right? And so far, I've literally shown you what it looks like to be able to do this over and over again. Right here with this smash all pop accounts for some penties, right? Using this same system. And as you can see right here, this was literally almost a zero drawdown on this particular shot, right? And a 500 USD on a copy trading account that is connected to mine, right? And as I did say over and over again, I've shown you all the possibility and how you can do this too, right? So before not wasting much time, let's actually hit the chat and break down how you can be able to do this too. Right, so as usual, I've shown you every single time over and over again in the past videos how I actually approach the market, right? But now this is practically for you all who are day traders and who are looking to maximize and do a lot of crazy stuff. So if you're looking to flip, right? If you're practically looking to flip, this particular system is for you. So first of all, we actually want to go to the 4-hour time frame, right, which is practically for day traders, as I always do say. So on the 4-hour time frame, we actually want to look out for a very, very simple pattern, right? For a very simple pattern. And we actually want to look out for a very simple pattern, which in this particular case, we want to see a bearish engulfing candle, right? So in this particular area on the chart, we actually do have the presence of this bearish engulfing candle, and we have the presence of this bullish engulfing candle. We also have the presence of this bullish engulfing candle. We have the presence of this bearish engulfing candle, and engulfing candles are always going to be present, right? So you actually want to make sure you look out for these candles during the London section window or the New York section window, depending on what time of the day you always prefer to trade, right? So in this particular scenario, we actually do have the presence of this bearish engulfing candle right here, which I'm definitely going to look to trade off on, right? So with this particular bearish engulfing candle right here, I'm looking to prioritize precision, and we're looking to prioritize impulse, right? Again, if you're new to this if you're new to this YouTube channel, don't forget to click on the link in this particular video description to be part of my free Telegram community, right? So right here, with us mapping out this 4-hour bearish engulfing candle, right, we actually want to scale all the way down to the lower time. Now, I've always been a big fan, and I've always said this over and over again, right? The presence of engulfing candles practically depicts every single concept you see out there. You can literally see a valid supply and demand of engulfing candles. You can see any single concept out there incorporating engulfing candles, even if they don't want to really say this outright, but every single concept out there incorporates engulfing candles, right? So without wasting much time, I actually did have this to be the 4-hour. Now I'm literally going to skip all the way to the 15 minutes, right? Now on this particular area, we actually want to look out for the easier stuff, right? So in this particular zone, we can see that every single demand zone, supply zone has been tapped into, right? We see this price tapped into the supply, and it did actually expand all the way to the downside. We actually did see price expand all the way to the downside after it tapped into this, right? We see this expansion to the downside, and this is how we are going to approach this easily, right? Now, price actually did map this out, and we actually did create another supply, right? Which price tapped into, and we did expand all the way to the downside, right? Now, all of this literally did happen inside the engulfing candle, which we are not looking to take, right? Because it is practically happening inside the engulfing candle. We actually want to look for that setup that comes in after price gives us this, we actually do have the presence of this bearish candle, right? So whatever happens inside here before the price gives us an engulfing candle does not really matter to us, right? what we actually want to see is the next candle open up and then run into this, right? Giving us a valid wick all the way into the previous one, right? We actually want to see price run into this with a wick and then expand, right? So the wick expansion or the wick running into this is practically price retesting a demand or supply zone right before it expands. So right here we actually do have this entire engulfing candle zone coming to an end right at this particular area. So mapping this out, this is where we actually did have the end of the engulfing candle right here, okay? This is where we actually had the end of the engulfing candle from this particular zone. From this particular point, we had the end of the engulfing candle all the way to the side, right? Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? Again, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the link in this particular video description to be part of our free Telegram community. So now keeping this very easy, keeping this very, very easy, right? So let's take a look at what we actually have right here. We can see that price actually did give us a clean expansion all the way to the downside. And you can see this right here is practically price retesting two key resistance areas, right? We can see to make this clean, right? We can see that price actually did have the first resistance level, that is this particular point, and then price actually dropped down, and then we did run into this, right? And we can see that price actually did drop down again and came back all the way to retest this particular level, right? So we actually, in the real sense, have a double retest right here. So we actually do have first retest, we actually have second retest, and then price coming back up, right? This is the first criteria. Now, second criteria, right? We actually do have the presence of this supply right here that caused price expansion all the way to the downside, right? And which is a very clean one, But I want to draw your attention to the fact we also do have the presence of a structural change, that is price making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? So what do you think is going to happen? Price is definitely going to come for the next supply, right? So keeping it all easy, we actually want to identify what? We actually want to identify the presence of a solid resistance level, right? First of all, the engulfing candle. And secondly, we actually want to drop down to the 15 minutes time frame to look out for the presence of its key support or resistance level, right? And thirdly, we actually want to map out our supply. So in this particular case, we actually do have the presence of this bearish candle, which I'm really going to use as my supply, because if you scale all the way to the lower time frame to refine this, right, on the 5 minutes time frame, we actually did have the presence of a valid supply zone, right? And when we talk about a valid supply zone, this is what we actually do have right here. This is what we actually do have right here. All right, so this is what we actually do have right here, having this all the way to this particular point, right? Now, the major reason I'm not going to make use of this is because this was not really present in the entire forward test. So refining this folder, I always refine all the way to the 1 minute, right? We did see that this was practically a fake inducement, right? So we actually want to scale it over the 1 minute time frame, mapping out to this. We actually did have price retest the last supply zone, right? And our entry is always going to be of this particular level, right? So this is based off the 1 minute entry. Now there's practically no special confirmation, right? All we want to do is to place a limit order right here. And we can see our price tap this with little to zero drawdown. And then we actually have a crazy expansion all the way to the downside, right? So you can practically make use of a 50 pip stop or whatever, right? So I like to use a 50 pip stop, and then we actually want to go for the last low present. Okay, so this is literally the last low present before price push all the way to the upside. That's said, this was practically the low that propelled price all the way to the upside, right? So we actually want to sell all the way to this particular point, keeping it easy and keeping it real, right? So back to the 15 minutes time frame, this is what it actually looks like. Back to the 15 minutes time frame, this is practically what it looks like, right? Prioritizing precision, and we are done in less than 15 to 30 minutes plus, right? Before price dropped all the way back to the 1 hour time frame level. So this is what it looks like, real easy. All we actually look out for is the presence of engulfing candles, and refining the second setup, right? We see that the same thing actually happens over and over again. So this is a bearish candle right here. Price actually did roll into this and we dropped all the way to the downside. And this is practically bullish engulfing candle right here. Okay, so if we are to like replicate the same exact pattern, right? You actually want to see the same thing happen over and over again. So as I did say, this is practically something that should be done during sections, right? Because you actually want to make sure you're in for a valid timing, a valid time, right? It should not pop up during the Asian section to trade this, right? It does work right there and right then, right? But at the same time, you actually want to give your setups a sense of timing, right? So this is how easy it is, and this is how I was able to smash every single thing I smashed right here in the community. And you can see for a very short fact, we did a 200 all the way to 1,700, and we also did 100 all the way. We also did 100 all the way to $3,000, right? We see we started off with 100 and we smashed it all the way with little to no crazy drawdown. You can see the precision, and we did this all the way to 3,000, right? So this is how I was able to like do this real easy, and how you can be able to do this too, right? So if you take a look at this, we actually want to skip to the 15 minutes time frame. And on the 15 minutes time frame, right, what do we actually see? We see this demand present waiting for price right here. Okay, which price failed to tap in. And if I did show you all my map out right here on this particular trade, which I shared with the community, we can see that this trade level was called out. Right, you can see this trade level was called out right here, right, which actually smashed CP, and that was how easy it is, right? So that is how easy it is to like smash a whole lot of crazy stuff. So like all you need to do is prioritize precision, right? And I've proven this over and over again. So guys, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, right? This is literally the easiest strategy out there. We literally no indicators, no way to complicate this, right? And it's literally just an easy one. So if I can do this, you can practically do this too, right? So if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the notification button, and also click on the link in this particular video description to be part of our free Telegram community. See you guys in the next videos, guys.